Alright, call, hello, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kadash. So all praises to the Most High. Alright, whom the world ignorantly calls God, and His Son, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Hamashiach, the Anointed, alright, our Savior, our Deliverer. We want to give double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, the great millstone, who through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, watered this plant, this vine that is called GMS. So salutations to all the other Akim and throughout GMS that's helping us noise this gospel abroad on the four corners of the earth and to the ears of the elect. Alright, if you don't know, we're the Hebrew Israelites, the original, the real Hebrew Israelites, our patriarchs are the ones that walked, and we also, if you can receive it, across the Red Sea, alright, which consists of the so-called black, Native American, and Hispanics, okay, whose line goes back to the forefather Jacob, in which the promise was given from the Most High, all right, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, who had 12 sons, which were the leading the patriarchs of the 12 tribes of Israel, okay, starting with Judah on down to Issachar. Judah being the so-called black man here in America, and Issachar being the so-called Mexican. Alright, so this word, this gospel, this good news is to the lost sheep, alright, of the house of Israel. And there could be no more lost people on a planet than you so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. You people that have been robbed and deprived of your heritage, your culture, your nationality, and you've been given bywords, all right? You've been given falsehoods. You've been given false gods, all right, to worship. When the Holy Scriptures state that the Bible was given unto us, all right? The Bible was given unto us, and us only. Okay, so Lord willing, through the Spirit, this is edifying. Just got a few scriptures and an article that I want to bring out. It's been on my spirit heavy lately. You can see the media is Esau's propaganda arm of white supremacy, of his rulership, of his power. And what you see in the media is them putting the Northern Kingdom, so starting with so-called Mexicans, starting with the immigration debate, really on blast, on full display. Right? The tension is rising up on them. They're being brought to the forefront because ultimately Esau is getting his people geared up for this purge. All right. So when this purge comes and all hell breaks loose, Esau wants to justify the mass murder that he's going to commit on the nation of Israel. Alright, so before he's doing that, just like before they invaded Iraq, alright, just like before they invaded Afghanistan, there was a lot of propaganda that was pushed out to deem those countries worthy of a bombing. And that's basically what he's doing to the nation of Israel right now. Okay, I want to bring out this scripture because this is the time that in which it was prophesied that the Israelites were going to lose their inheritance, because Baruch was in the Babylonian captivity. All right, likewise was Jeremiah, and it was prophesied to Jeremiah that said, "Thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from the heritage that I gave thee." So it was prophesied that the real Hebrew Israelites were going to lose their nationality. They were going to lose their heritage. They were going to be a lost people in the latter times, in the latter days in which we're living in now. All right, there was going to be a great awakening, if you will, so to speak. All right, a resurrection of these people, and they would come back to their identity. They would gain their identity back. So this is Baruch chapter 2, verse 30. It says, "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people." And that alone, them being stiff-necked, proves that our people are the Israelites. Because when you tell a so-called Mexican that he's not a Mexican, that he's an Israelite, they take great pride, it's vain pride in being a Mexican or being a Puerto Rican, which Puerto Rico means the port of riches, right? Dominican, from a saint, Domingo, which is Sunday. You know, they take pride in being called idol, if you will, of their captives, their enemies. It says, but in the land of their captivity, they shall remember themselves. So right now we're in the land of our captivity, and we're starting to remember ourselves. This is a great prophecy that's coming to play. So going back to the topic at hand, I got an article here, and this is the article that they plaster right on Front Street. So as you open up the computer, this is what they're throwing in your face. All right, so this is from MSNBC. It's like NBC News. All right, and the title is now the Trump administration wants to limit citizenships for illegal immigrants. And understand that the Esau's propaganda arm, which is the news, they use code words to decipher who's who between each other, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, we've cracked those codes. All right, so the Trump administration, when you see that word illegal immigrants, all right, they're talking about the Northern Kingdom. Although there are plenty of illegal alien immigrants that, as a matter of fact, the majority of the people that come to America illegally, they don't cross the border. They fly in on visas and they just stay. All right, so there's a huge chunk of immigrants that are here from Somalia, a huge chunk that are here from Iraq, from Vietnam, from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Cuba, a lot of these places, Ghana. There's a lot of Asia. You know, I could go on. It's not just America's a melting pot. You got all kind of nationalities out here. Irish, all right, Italian, and they flash that spotlight on the Northern Kingdom because it's a spiritual thing. I'm gonna read Amos 1:11. Thus saith the Lord, for three transgressions against Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. So this is a spiritual beef that's going on amongst these people, right? And it's not a skin color thing, because the Somalian or the Ethiopian or the Nigerian that immigrates to, see, as soon as you click I didn't mean to do that, but it was a spirit. As soon as you click on this thing here, you have President Trump uses race to divide, all right? And you scroll down a little bit, White House plan to move on legal immigrants. Okay, so going back, these Somalians and they're not targeted in the news or just in regular day life as are the children of Israel are. Going back to what I just read in Amos, that perpetual hatred that they held forever. So I want to read this article. And again, now the Trump administration wants to limit citizens for illegal immigrants. Okay, the Trump administration is expected to issue a proposal in the coming weeks that will make it harder for legal immigrants to become citizens or get green cards if they ever used a range of popular public welfare programs, including Obamacare. 4 sources with knowledge of the plans told MSNBC. So this is a direct target toward legal, not illegal, to legal, in which Esau would deem as legal immigrants to become citizens if they've used things such as Obamacare or food. Now, see, Esau has politicized welfare and Obamacare, which is healthcare. But when you look at it as in its all totality, what they're basically telling you is that if you need food, which is a natural, a natural necessity, not a accessory, but it's a necessity. You need this in healthcare, which is also should be in a moral, any moral country or place, as it is proposed. Healthcare is to make you healthy, but we know the back end of so-called healthcare, which is a different show for a different time. But allow me to condescend and just make a point that essentially what he's saying is, if you need the basic necessities to life, you're not welcome here, and you're going to be penalized for that. They try to hide behind the taxes and all that other stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just a nice way for Esau to be a devil, to be a serpent, you know, to be a serpent, to say, look, these are the ones we don't want here because they're on welfare. And when you look at the statistics, you're going to clearly see that the majority of the so-called, I'm going to say it like this, a good chunk of so-called Hispanics, all right, they need welfare. They need that that card that Esau gives in order to get some food, in order to pay for food. Even if you don't have welfare, the cost of food in America, right, and not even just in America, but around the world, is sky high. It's a bill within itself. All right, so only the devil would try to penalize you, so to speak, for wanting to feed your family or to provide health care for your family. All right, but let me see, man. This, I mean, we don't even got to get too far into this. Article to see that Esau is the devil, man. And you so-called Hispanics need to wake up and smell the coffee. All right, a lot of you think that you're white. A lot of you think that you're gonna get some type of pass because you have lighter skin than the other Israelites in your tribe that have darker skin. A lot of you try to go on the side of Donald Trump and go out of your way to kiss the so-called white man's ass. That's because you're a silly dove, right? As a matter of fact, speaking of that, the look, Ephraim 7 and 8, Ephraim hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. So meaning you took on the characteristics of people and looking like the other nations, primarily the so-called white man at times. So you think you're on a higher pedestal, not knowing that this is a spiritual battle. And this is the reason why even if you have light skin and you're an Israelite, they don't give a damn about that. They're shipping you out. They're separating your families. They're separating your families down at the border, and thousands on top of tens of thousands of kids are coming up missing. They're coming up missing, and everybody's acting surprised. They like as if they don't know what's going on. Esau is the devil. All right. It says strangers have devoured his strength, and he know it not. Yeah, strangers have devoured your strength. These other nations have taken away your glory, right? And in part, mostly by them separating you from the Southern Kingdom, so-called blacks, Haitians, and Jamaicans. All right, you guys not knowing that you guys are of the same stock. All right, not knowing that you're of the same stock, because ultimately, by them doing that, it made it easier for them to cut you off from the Lord. All right, because you think that the Lord is a so-called white man. The majority of them, they think that Cesare Borgia is the real deal. All right, playing upon the coolness and the foolery that goes on in South America. The Lord is a so-called black man. The Bible describes him literally from his head to his toe, to the color of his feet, to the texture of his hair. All right. It says, I'm gonna go down to 11. It says Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart. they call into Egypt and go into Syria. Yeah, they're a silly dove, man, without no heart. All right, they're cowards when it comes to the so-called white man. They'll literally sold their country. And I'm talking about so-called Puerto Ricans to America. They cowards. They're cowards. There's videos of the Mexican mob, right? The Mexican mafia, different Mexican gangs out in California. So-called Mexicans, I should say. Really, they're Mexicans because they're not in the truth. They're acting like niggas. But they're fighting other niggas in California over gang turf and stupid dumb shit. But ain't nobody got nothing to say about Trump though, right? None of these gangs have anything to say about the setup that the so-called white man, the trap that they set up for our people to slaughter one another in the streets like dogs. So there's no honor in that. There's no honor in that gangbanging shit. Because you guys don't know who your real enemy is. So you're like silly doves. And you call to Egypt and they go into Syria. You go to your enemies for your help. Alright, so let me go back. It says, you see, just those programs alone prove that you go to your enemy for help. This move would not need congressional approval. It is part of the White House senior advisor Stephen Miller's plan to limit the number of migrants who obtain legal status in the U.S. each year. So they're not just going after illegal immigrations. They're going after legal immigrations, trying to limit, basically limit you from coming here, which should prove in itself that you're the children of Israel. You so-called Hispanics. This is Exodus chapter 1, because we've been here before. Exodus chapter 1. I'm gonna start at 5. Right? And all the souls that came up out of the lines of Jacob, to the Israelites, were 70 souls. For Joseph was already in Egypt, and Joseph died, and all his brothers, and all that generation. And the children of Israel was fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceedingly mighty in the land which filled them. And that's what's going on here in America. We're exceeding, our population is exceeding. They want to separate the Latin population from the so-called black population, and that's the old tactic of divide and conquer. But united, we're stronger. All right, but they don't look they don't look at it like that. They look at it in its totality, because again, they're the illuminated ones. They're enlightened. They know the truth. They know there ain't a difference between the so-called Dominican and the so-called Haitian, but a skin complexion. All right. Mexicans beef with so-called Mexicans beef with so-called Salvadorians. You know. They know that they're the same people, just a different tribe. Okay, they know that. So they look at it in the bigger picture as, look, these Israelites are, these people are exceeding mightily, and they're filling the land. All right, so it says, and the children of Israel were fruitful, and that's what the name Ephraim is, to be fruitful, man, to increase. And that's what our people do. We increase. We have seed, and we do it abundantly, and we multiply, and we are waxing exceedingly mighty, according to the book of Revelation. Especially us, this new truth coming back, us coming back to our laws, statutes, and commandments, mainly because of that, I should say. Okay, it says, and the land was filled with them. Now there rose up a king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us. So get them out of the land. All right, and this is exactly what's going on today. If you can't see this, then you need to pray for it. That same spirit, that same vibration is the one that's being pushed on America today. All right, and America is spiritually Egypt. Right? America is spiritually Egypt. This is Revelation chapter 11 verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of that great city, which is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. So when you look at the dollar bill, all these Egyptian deities and gods that they worship, the vibration, mainly just us being here in captivity, being brought over here on cargo slave ships, serving underneath the modern day Egyptians and the modern day Pharaoh, right? Which is Donald Trump, DJ Trump. And his minions, they're back at it again. And there was a decree that went out to kill, throw the Israelite boys in the water, to drown them, to kill them, to afflict them, to put more work on them, to make it more harder for them. And this is the decrees that the unrighteous decrees, I should say, that they're drafting up right now. It says, immigrant lawyers and advocates and public health researchers say that it will be the biggest change to the legal migration system in decades, and estimate that more than 20 million immigrants could be affected. And out of those 20 million, over 19.5 million of them are Jakes. All right. Matter of fact, it says 90%. I got an article that I'm reading from my phone. It says 90% of the deportations went to these 4 countries. Understand this. 90% of the deportations that happened in America went to Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, or El Salvador. All right, and then the rest is other. Okay, 90%. So 10% spread out through the world, and 90% sent to these 4 countries, and the rest. And then within that 10%, you gotta understand there's Brazil, there's DR, you know, there's Jamaica. Right, there's still countries where the main primarily the Latin tribes are located. Okay, so it's time to wake up. All right, and the title of this one was Undocumented Irish Caught in Trump's Immigration Dragnet. So this one is this kind of, they're trying to basically say, look, this immigration in this article, they're trying to say this immigration is not supposed to be targeted towards their people, you know, but every now and then a few of them get caught up, and they could get lawyers and get out of that jam that they're in. But this whole system, ICE, is geared toward targeting the nation of Israel. All right. I'm gonna read this last scripture, then I'm gonna close it out. This is Hosea chapter. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to Hosea 9. I start at 9 and 11. As for Ephraim, their glory shall fly away like a bird. All right, from the birth, and from the womb, and from thy conception. All right, and this is what has happened to our people. All right. Poverty. Our people are destitute. This is what they're running from. A lack of food. They're malnourished, right? Trash is everywhere because of the systems that are put into play. Ultimately, us not being in power. Really, there's no us not being in power. Us not being able to have the rights, the means to help out all of our people. Alright, so it says So it says, I want to read this and then I'm going to close it up. It says, Ephraim, I saw, matter of fact, it says, though they bring up their children, yet will I breathe them, and they shall not be a man left. Yea, woe also to them when I depart. When I depart from them. Yeah, and this is an image of the Lord departing, all right, from these people. Right? The Lord is not here, because when the Lord is with us, we're a blessed nation above all the people on the planet, and that is evident. But when He departs, this is what you have. All right. It says, Ephraim, I saw Ephraim, as I saw Tyrus, is planted in a pleasant place, but Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer. All right, you trying to bring your children here to America. You're bringing them to the murderer. Thousands of kids have went missing, and Esau is heavy into pedophilia, child sacrifice. So they're having a field day, picking out boys that they like, little girls that they like to sleep with, to molest. There's already been cases of molestation. So ultimately, we need salvation. All right? Shalom.